An unforgettable evening at the 80th annual Al Smith dinner as New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft accepted the Happy Warrior Award for his charitable contributions and his fight against anti-Semitism.
Last night, Kraft spoke about stopping hate and the importance of practicing faith.
I want to recognize the Alfred E. Smith Foundation for the extraordinary work you do, lifting up the poor, giving hope to the marginalized, and reminding us that faith and spirituality, which I think are forgotten too much in this world, are not only what we believe, but also what we all should practice.
It was a great speech. And with us here is the man who gave that speech, the chairman and CEO of the Kraft Group and the New England Patriots owner, Robert Kraft. Great to see you, Mr. Kraft.
Great to see you.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
And I believe it's of all the times you did interviews, the first time you're on the couch.
It's good to see
you.
You,
know,
sir.
have you met Lawrence last night? Did you guys
Yes.
meet last night? Okay.
But my name is RKK or Robert.
RKK Robert.
RKK or Robert.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What a wonderful night last night. Congratulations. And what I love about you is not only you're the owner of one of the best football teams in the country, you're a mentor. John Bon Jovi said you're like a father figure to him. Tom Brady has said the same thing.
Older brother.
An older brother, not a father figure. But you do so much for charity. You do so much against anti-Semitism. Why is that? What gives you the heart for America?
Well, excuse me, we live in the greatest country in the world, and I think we're losing our way a little bit. People are not listening to other sides, different points of view. We're going to extremes, and that's not good. And so I was lucky. I grew up with a dad of blessed memory who taught me faith and spirituality is the great uniter and brings people together. And I think we need more of that. And seeing the kind of leader Cardinal Dolan
He's the best.
Oh, and that dinner last night, I don't think there's any other event that brings people together of all backgrounds like that, and people who care and are into it. It was one of the special moments in my life to be able to receive that award.
I don't know the exact names, but it was the coolest thing that you gave Cardinal Dolan a cap with the Patriots insignia on it.
A yarmulke.
A yarmulke.
And then he let you wear his. So you were the Cardinal.
He gave his Zucchetto, his. Well, I was thinking he wears that all the time. And so I said, I got some friends over in Brooklyn who do it all the time, but their cap is black. So I want you to feel comfortable being an AFC East fan of the New England Patriots. That's a satin yarmulke. There aren't too many of those.
Here's more from the speech last night.
Bob, you've done so much to try to bring us together through your anti-hate initiatives, and you've done it from the perspective of someone who cares deeply about our country.
I got to see how hard you've worked to better your community and make the world a more peaceful place. Your warrior spirit, whether it's fighting cancer or fighting hate, is unrelenting.
I hope you're soaking it all in tonight and maybe even sneaking in a little dance move or two, because that's what you do, and show all of these others in attendance who the young fella still is. That's you, Mr. Kraft. You've earned it, baby.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the tribute package to you. What are your thoughts when that was rolling?
Oh, I mean, Brady and Gronk, for us to have the two of them, and they're genuine. The way they represented on that tape, I mean, I used to come in every day and see them, and, you know, we were having some good fortune in those years.
You think so?
We did okay. And they're just great guys, but they're unifiers. We need more people like that who really care about the country and all people and bringing people together. And I was lucky to be exposed to
It was such a great moment, and congratulations on that. You've been really outspoken against anti-Semitism. We got some recent polling that just was astonishing. 18% of Jewish Americans feel, only 18% feel very safe in this country. And then it says 42% in the past year have avoided displaying that they're Jewish? Any type of symbols, yarmulkes, the Star of David. Are you surprised by those numbers?
Well, think about what you're saying. So we're living in the United States of America in 2025. The Jewish people are a little over 2% of the population, but get 66% of religious hate crimes. And, you know, that's the canary in the coal mine. It starts there. But when you have hate like that against any group, it multiplies right through our whole system. And that's why stepping up and not allowing it. Love is the unifier. Empathy, talking to one another. We need more faith and spirituality. And Cardinal Dolan represented that. And unfortunately, what the numbers you pointed out, history has shown for the last 3,000 years, that's something that goes on, and eventually, hopefully, we capture it. It's not good for America.
Now the war settled down. Let's see if it goes down. You have the Blue Square Alliance. This was before October 7th. That's what you're wearing right there. Here's a little bit more on that.
What do you say when a Jewish boy is kicked on a New York City sidewalk? What do you say when a Holocaust survivor is firebombed on the streets of Colorado? What do you say when 1 in 3 Jewish Americans were victims of hate last year? When there are no words, there's still a symbol to show you care. Share the blue square and stand up to Jewish hate.
That's what that is.
Yeah, Mr. Kraft, we see these ads. They're beautiful. A good reminder that we absolutely need to focus on love and not hate. Why did you start this alliance?
Well, I started back in 2019. I was privileged to get the Genesis Prize from Israel, and they give you $1 million. And I looked for a group that I could give that to that was fighting hate, excuse me, and anti-Semitism. And I saw Charlottesville happening. I think it was 17, where men carrying swastikas in the United States, preaching hate, and then the Tree of Life bombing. Think about people going to a house of worship in America in 2025, and you can't be safe. All the founding principles. So I started the foundation to combat anti-Semitism then. We commit $50 to $60 million a year trying to do ads like you just saw, bringing people together. 80% of Americans are great people. They're just not speaking up. And we changed the name of our foundation to the Blue Square Alliance Against Hate, because when it starts with one group, it multiplies everywhere. And we need people not to be silent. So by wearing this, they're making a statement. I'm against all hate. And to be at that dinner last night, and Miri Erdos from J.P. Morgan, she was the chair, and she's great. And she had everyone from the cardinal to all the people there wearing this blue square. So it's preaching love and not hate.
You know, it's interesting, the bond between Judaism and Christianity probably has never been stronger. You even kidded around about growing up in a Catholic neighborhood, and everyone's like, why aren't you going to church on Sunday?
Yeah,
no one had any idea.
They actually thought I was a little Irish kid, and which was sort of cool. Yeah, they...
in Brookline, right?
Pardon?
In Brooklyn.
Brookline, Mass, yeah. We had a little bit of the Irish neighborhood right there, and because I had a round face, get sunburn. I had blonde hair at the at least I have hair.
Oh, yeah.
But it was blonde at the time. And, brotherhood and sisterhood, our country's so great, and we got to keep it.
I'm sorry, Nancy, go ahead.
What was your response to Donald Trump having a hand in bringing all of these hostages home?
Okay, so let me tell you something, and I credit Cardinal Dolan. A year ago, I was at that dinner, sitting on the dais, and right near the president. And I went and chatted to him, and he said to me a year ago at that dinner, if I'm elected president, he knew it was important to me, I'm going to make sure the hostage are released. And for him to follow through on that, and the inspiration, he was talking about it a year ago. And think about keeping people in a tunnel for over 2 years. I don't know how you don't go mentally insane. And credit to President Trump, he's a courageous leader who speaks up. Now, people might not like a lot of what he says, but he does. He executes on what he speaks about, and we need more of that.
Robert, are you surprised that, because I always heard the stories growing up that when there was segregation, that the Jewish restaurants and stores would allow black people in. Being a part of the NFL and it being so diverse, are you surprised that you didn't hear more support for the Jewish community during that period of time after all of the different social causes that they stood?
You've said something that I agree. The Jewish people and people of color have been partners. With Martin Luther King, the founding of the NAACP 100 years ago, 30% of the people doing that funding were Jewish, because we have a lot of the similarities. Granted, our skin color is different, but the discrimination is similar. I was honored that Martin Luther King's son asked me to speak in Washington at the 50th anniversary of I Have a Dream speech, which that was one of the greatest speeches. And, how the special leader he was. We need more of Martin Luther King's leadership skills.
And we also need more Robert Krafts in this world.
Yeah.
Even though you always torture the Jets, and your team is revitalized.
May it continue. I don't know if you heard me, but when I closed out, I said, God bless you all, and may your prayers be heard, except in weeks 11 and 17 when the Patriots play the New York Jets.
Right. You guys
Woody's great, by the way.
He's a great guy.
He is a great
I'm
guy.
big fan of his.
Woody Johnson, you guys sat right next to him, very close to each other.
He's a good
Yeah,
man.
Woody and Suzanne, they're wonderful, aren't they?
both.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Our couch is always open for you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much.
Appreciate
It's
it.
an honor to be here.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm
you.
tearing up. That was the sweetest message.
Yeah, it was.
I love how the black community and the Jewish community
I thought you were
support
talking
each
about
other.
beating the Jets. I didn't know which message you thought.
No, we love you. Thank you for everything
Thank
you do.
It's great to
God
be
has
here.
blessed you, and you're using your funds to bless other people, and there's nothing more beautiful. Thanks.
Thank you, Angela.
You're welcome.
Back in a moment.
Or Fox and Friends.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.